This is Michael Orrell of MobileBurn.com, and today we're going to take a look at the new Blackberry Bold 9700 for T-Mobile USA. Let's quickly open up the box and see what we've got inside. Obviously we have the Bold itself. Feels like there's no battery in it yet. Pull that out. See, it's a little bit smaller than the original Bold on AT&T. Set it aside. Here we have a case. See if I can get it open quickly. So swiveling holster on it, magnetic latch, foam in here. We'll stick the phone in there a little bit later. Here's the battery. We'll open this up because we're going to have to stick this inside if we're going to power it up. There's a data cable. It's a micro USB cable. Stereo headphones, 3.5mm plug on it, and of course the charger. Looks like a standard RIM charger. So let's pop off the rear cover of the device so we can stick the battery in here. No SIM card in there yet. We'll take care of that later. Just slides on, presses on, no big deal. Automatically powering up. It'll take a couple minutes to start up though. So while the phone's starting up, let's peel off some of the protective wrapping. You can see the back of the device still has that faux leather look to it that some people love, some people hate. I was always fond of it on the original Bold. And we have the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera and the LED flash up there on the top. Let's look at the rest of the device. On the right hand edge we've got black rubberized volume control and the camera shutter button. This is very much like what we saw on the new Storm 2. The metal button's been replaced with black rubber ones. This is the secondary user configurable button you could generally use for voice dialing. Uncovered micro USB port and still the 3.5mm jack sticking out on the side, which makes it a little bit inconvenient when you have headphones plugged into it and it's in a pocket or something like that. Up top, a little hard to see, two buttons here, one for locking and unlocking the device, the other one for muting it. Not touch sensitive, they physically move. And not too much to see on the bottom except for what could possibly be the microphone hole. The front of the device has the 480 by 360 pixel display that we've seen on other Bolds, and we can take a look at the keyboard. It has a very much look like the other 8000 series devices of old and the prior Bold. The keys butt up against each other. There's no spacing like you would find on a Curve. Still pretty large keyboard, but it's not as big as the original Bold. Seems to have a pretty good feel though. Not nearly as stiff as the keys on the 8520, I notice. Although it does have the same kind of optical trackpad controller as found on the 8520. I was about to pop in the SIM card when I realized there's a slightly different way that RIM has the micro SD card in there. It actually goes in on a diagonal. You can see it sticks up there. It's a little difficult to get out. It does click out a bit, but it's still a little bit kind of gets stuck. But not a bad design considering it saves space. But in any event, let's stick the SIM card in there. And we'll throw the battery back in so we can start it all up again. So here once again is the case that comes for the 9700. You can see it has a magnetic latch. I'm sure the magnet also activates and deactivates the screen. We'll check that in a second. You can see you can put it into pretty much any position you want on the belt clip. It ratchets into place nicely. Still have access to the 3.5mm port. So we'll pull it out and see what happens. Yep, automatically activates. This is for the setup wizard right here. Close that. I'll say don't remind me. And there we are. Get rid of the case here. Go to the main menu and just poke around a little bit. Go into options. Let's take a look at the firmware version that the device is running. You can see it's 5.0. And here to give you an idea of relative size of the devices, this is the new Storm 2 in my left hand, and of course the 9700 in my right. You can see the Storm 2 is quite a bit larger, although they're probably fairly close in thickness. I mean, the Bold's obviously still a thinner and smaller device, and it's much, much lighter. That much is very obvious to me right now. In terms of overall dimensions, it's right in line with the Blackberry Tour that's available on some of the CDMA networks right now, which means it's significantly smaller than the original Blackberry Bold. We'll jump into the wireless manager here, and you can see there's Wi-Fi support as well as Bluetooth support. Scan for some networks. Maybe we'll link up to one of them. And now we're connected to one of my access points right here for Wi-Fi. We're all set up, and you can already see that we've got the UMA connection here in the upper right hand corner of the screen, showing that now all of our voice and data connectivity is going through the local Wi-Fi internet connection as opposed to going over T-Mobile's 3G and 2G network. Build quality on the Bold 9700 seems really good. Everything's nice and solid, no creaking anywhere. Keyboard has a pretty nice feel to it, not too stiff. Keys have a slightly waxy feel to them. I guess it gives it a little bit extra grip than it would otherwise with just hard plastic keys. Overall, very impressed with the quality of the device. It just has a really pretty display. Keyboard feels nice. Everything looks good, and it's nice and solid. So a nice new entry to T-Mobile's suite of BlackBerry smartphones in any case. So again, that's the RIM BlackBerry Bold 9700, and I'm Michael Orrell for MobileBurn.com.